right, what's going on, boys? It's Keg back with another Run Pure Bets UFC main event breakdown video. This weekend, it's UFC Fight Night, Waterson versus Rodriguez. And that's the main event this week. Now, the main event was supposed to be a banger. Supposed to be TJ Dillashaw against Corey Sandhagen. Unfortunately, that falls through. And what we're left with is Michelle Waterson versus Marina Rodriguez. Now, I know that this card doesn't have the huge name value that casual fans are probably used to. Donald Cerrone is probably the biggest name on the card tomorrow night. However, I think you got to give a shout out to Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby because I think they killed it with this fight card. Would we rather have had TJ Dillashaw and Corey Sandhagen at the top? Obviously, right? But all that said, I think that it's a great card for the diehard fans tomorrow night. Should be a bunch of entertaining fights. I think there's a ton of dogs that are going to be live tomorrow that might be barking. So, all in all, I don't think it's a bad card. So with that said, this main event, I think, is extremely tough to call, in my opinion, because of the intangibles. Right now, at FanDuel, the line sits Marina Rodriguez minus 215. Comeback on Michelle Waterson is about plus 180. And, if we're grading these two women, the casual fan probably knows Michelle Waterson. She's been around forever. She's got a catchy nickname, the Karate Hottie. Now, Michelle Waterson is very much a jack of all trades and master of nothing. She's pretty solid everywhere, in my opinion. She's got a black belt in karate. And, it's translated pretty well, I think, to MMA. Solid striking game. She uses her kicks. They're a big part of her striking game. And she has great movement in the cage. Her footwork's pretty on point. Now, her defensive striking's not that bad. Her head is usually off the center line in exchanges. Her angles that she cuts are pretty good on offense. Her hands are fast enough for 115, even though she's fighting in 125 tonight. And she's got a really, really, really underrated ground game. I think she's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but she has shown time after time that if you give Michelle Waterson an opening on the ground, she's going to find a way to get that submission off. She's done it 18 pro fights, 18 wins. I'm sorry. Half of them are by submission. So 9 of 18 wins by submission. Like I said, really, really underrated ground game. Her wrestling top control, I think, is slightly above average. But all in all, because of how good and underrated her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is, I think she's rock solid on the ground. And then, intangibles, like she's got pretty decent fight IQ, and she's got cardio for days. She's gone 5 rounds in 2 of the last 3 fights that she fought. And in her last fight against Angela Hill, which was a 5-round war, now her face looked like it went through the ringer. She got the win. But what I was more impressed with was anytime Angela Hill fights, she sets a pretty wicked pace. She's constantly moving, constantly throwing. And Michelle Waterson, coming at it for that 5th round, even though her face looked disgusting, she was as fresh as a daisy. So she's got cardio for days. Now, I think that her one issue, particularly in this fight, is that she's a natural atom weight. Now, when she fought at Invicta, she fought at atom weight. That's 105 pounds, okay? UFC doesn't even have that weight class. She usually fights at strawweight, which is 115 pounds. But for this fight specifically, she's fighting at the flyweight weight at a $125. So she's just going to be the naturally smaller fighter in the cage tomorrow for sure. Now, why is this fight happening at 125 pounds? Because Michelle Waterson and Marina Rodriguez basically took this fight on a week's notice, okay? Neither of these women, as far as I know, had a fight scheduled. There was nothing down the pike for these two individually, and they take this fight to save the day on 6 days' notice. Not only that, but they take a 5-round main event on a week's notice. Not even a 3-round fight. Now, that brings in Marina Rodriguez. Now, I am a big fan of Marina Rodriguez. I mean, the girl absolutely lives for violence. And anytime that somebody lives for violence, I'm going to be a gigantic fan of, obviously, as somebody that's a fan of the sport. Now, Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby knew that Marina Rodriguez and Amanda Ribas were two extremely exciting prospects, right? What they did was they threw both of them into the cage one fight ago, basically to see which prospect that they were going to back first. Whoever came out of that fight was going to get the bump first, okay? Marina Rodriguez goes in there. She knocks Amanda Ribas out twice in one fight because Herb Dean completely shit the bed on the first knockout. He let the fight go on. She knocks her out again. And, you know, Marina Rodriguez is off to the races. Now she gets the opportunity for her first 5-round fight. Now, if you don't know much about Marina Rodriguez, which I would assume most casual fans don't, she has sick hands. Not only does she have like sick striking technique, striking accuracy, but she's got heavy hands for a girl that's 125 pounds. Like, I think there aren't many people in her division that can just drop somebody with one punch. And, you know, I think that she put the majority of the division on notice that she's got hands that are not to be fucked with. Now, here's the problem. I think that Marina Rodriguez throws her hands better than anything that Michelle Waterson does, okay? But if we're being fair, Marina Rodriguez has holes in her game, like legitimate holes. First is her grappling game. I think personally that it's average at best. I don't think that she's good at working towards submissions once she's got top control. It's the reason why she's only got one submission win, in my opinion, in the cage. Now, obviously, she always wants to keep it standing, but there have been times where she's had top control and she couldn't get the job done, period. She couldn't get the submission off. So I think that, you know, if we're being fair, her grappling game is probably average at best. The second thing that I have an issue with is her striking defense. She is hittable. And I think the problem with Marina Rodriguez is she's not afraid to eat one punch to throw back two, because she knows that when she throws back two, those are going to hurt a lot more than whatever that she just ate, right? So I have a little bit of issue with her striking defense, but her two biggest problems in the cage for me that she's absolutely god awful at is, one, her takedown defense is really, really bad. And when I say really bad, man, I mean it's absolutely dreadful. If Michelle Waterson is able to get in close inside the pocket and she doesn't get knocked out, she's a veteran that takes people down constantly. If she gets inside, she's going to take Marina Rodriguez down in this fight multiple times. So if you're backing Marina Rodriguez, if she doesn't get a flash KO, expect her to be on her back multiple times in the 5-round fight, okay? And the last issue that I have with her is her cardio. We have seen Marina Rodriguez, when she has had a full 7-week fight camp, be absolutely dead tired in the 3rd round of fights. And that's when she's had a couple months to train and prepare for a specific opponent, okay? So her cardio has been so bad in 3rd rounds that she's given away fights. She was absolutely destroying Cynthia Calvillo in her fight against Cynthia Calvillo. She dominates round 1. She dominates round 2. She made Cynthia Calvillo look like she didn't even belong in the cage, okay? The bell rings for round 3. What happens? She had nothing left. She was dead tired. What happens? Calvillo takes her down. She beats her so bad, she 10-8s her in the 3rd. And in a fight that she won 2 rounds to 1, she ends up getting a draw. Why? Because she just didn't have the cardio in round 3 to do what she had to do to secure the win. So now we're supposed to believe that she's going to go 5 rounds if she has to with no fight camp on 1 week's notice. I just don't see it, bro. Like, I've been thinking about this fight all week, and I just don't think it's possible. We have seen Michelle Waterson's gas tank in 5-round fights before. I said that earlier. She's looked fresh. We know what to expect. And this is the intangible factor that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. It makes it the fact that they both took this fight on 1 week's notice, and it's a 5-round main event, it makes it a much tougher fight to predict based on where their cardio levels are probably going to be at, considering that they weren't scheduled to fight anybody. Now, if you add in the fact that Marina Rodriguez is probably going to spend multiple minutes in multiple rounds on her back in this fight, carrying Michelle Waterson's weight, it could be a big problem. It could be. Now, I was listening to Connor Rebush over at Bloody Elbow, who, generally knows what he's talking about. And he kept going on and on about how Marina Rodriguez gets stronger as the fight goes on. And he's never seen her look tired in the 3rd round of fights. And I just think that's it's ridiculous on its face. I mean, he was talking like a simp. I just don't see it. She clearly gasses out in the 3rd round of fights. And that's not even up for debate. So my guess how this fight goes is I think that Marina Rodriguez probably has about 18.5 minutes to spark Waterson and plant her like a Christmas tree, okay? And if she doesn't, and we get to the end of round 3, I think that this fight could drastically change on a dime. Now, I do think that Marina Rodriguez can end this fight inside 3 rounds. She's that good. Her hands are that good. And her power is that sick for her body weight that she can absolutely flash KO Waterson and knock her down and knock her out. But it's worth noting that Michelle Waterson historically is really durable. She can take a lot of damage. You saw it in the 5-round fight against Joanna and Jacek. You saw it in the 5-round fight against Angela Hill. She could take damage. and keep going. So, on the flip side, if Michelle Waterson can find a way to steal one of the first 3 rounds, and they get deep enough into this fight where the bell rings for round 4, then I think that she can absolutely steal the fight. I really do. How many times do we see in MMA where a crafty veteran fighter plays the ground control game against a really top prospect that hasn't figured it all out yet? And Marina Rodriguez has not figured it all out yet. Her takedown defense, it's disgusting. So I think that it might be one of those where the doors open for Michelle Waterson to slide right through, because we've seen what happens when Michelle Waterson gets drugged into the deep waters. She could swim. We have no idea what Marina Rodriguez could do in a 5-round fight. She's barely breathing in the middle of a 3rd round fight with a 7-week camp. So if you're asking me for like a bet or a lean, FanDuel, and I saw a couple other books as well, has Marina Rodriguez to win in rounds 1, 2, or 3 at plus 500, and Michelle Waterson to win in round 4, 5, or by decision at plus 250. I personally think that that's live, because I just told you guys how I think this fight could potentially go. If you can't get that line, you don't have FanDuel, and none of the other books that you have has that line, excuse me, it's a really, really tough fight to call. Now, the price, like always, is the equalizer. Marina Rodriguez is coming in at minus 215. Michelle Waterson's coming in with the comeback at plus 180. As much as I think that Marina Rodriguez has special hands and the type of stopping power that you don't often see at flyweight, it's a prove it to me first fight. I said this last week. I needed Yuri Prochaska to prove to me that he could beat somebody better than Volkan Oezdemir. He did it. Now I'm on the hype train, okay? A similar situation. I got to see Marina Rodriguez prove to me that she can handle a 5-round fight. Michelle Waterson's going to set a pace all 5 rounds. She's going to try to take her down constantly in this fight. She's not looking to get flash KO'd like Amanda Hebos just got. That she doesn't want to see that happen. You're going to see her go for those takedown attempts, and judging on how we've seen Marina Rodriguez handle takedowns, it's not going to go well. She's going to. I don't think she could win a decision, because I think that Waterson's going to steal rounds on the ground. I think she's going to have to knock her out, because I don't think she's going to have the stamina to win a 5-round decision. Not on 1 week's notice. Not based on what I've seen so far in her career. Now, I could be wrong. Like I said, prove it to me. So it's an uncomfortable pick, because I like Marina Rodriguez a lot. So I would say either take a shot on those props at FanDuel, or my other lean would be you bite the bullet and you take the shot at plus 180 on Michelle Waterson, who's a solid veteran who knows how to win a fight. I'll tell you what, man. If I didn't see her lose round 1 and round 2 against Angela Hill, and then come back and win rounds 3, 4, and 5, maybe I would have thought twice. But she knows how to win fights. She's been around the block. So I'll take the shot at plus 180. So that's it, boys. Quickly, the website's a machine right now. We're crushing May. I don't know. We're up 15 units last few months. We're up like 60. If you want to join the site, head over to runpuresports.com. Use the promo code BETS25 off. Gets you 25% off the first month. Instead of spending 60, you're spending 45 for the first month. And aside from that, you guys know the deal. All the picks that you want, all the content that you want over on the bet side. The DFS guys are the best in the nation at what they do, probably. So I will be back live in about 10, 15 minutes on our YouTube channel again. We're going to do a little bonus live betting show. Me and one of the guys from Run Pure Sports and his friend. And whoever else decides to show up that wants to come and hang out, they're welcome to. So, yeah, I'll be back with Coop tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, I'll be live all night long for UFC Fight Night. Sunday, it's Mother's Day. Don't forget to hug your mother, kiss your mother, call your mother, do the right thing. And I'll be live at 3 o'clock on Sunday. And we'll try to do it again. Pick up another 10 units like last weekend. So I'll see you guys in about 15 minutes for the live betting show. And if I don't see you, I hope your action runs pure this weekend, and I'll catch you later.